This is David Stevens. Federal Bullish Day is Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, in the stock market update for our trades of the day. And boy, what a bull day it was. You could almost buy just about any stock on our list here, and they all went up. So let's take a look at the charts and see what's going on. Looking at the overall market, you can see Dow Jones closed up 0.86%, NASDAQ up 2.08%, and S&P 500 up 1.45%. And we are back up against our resistance level. So if we break through where we're at right now, Dow Jones is leading the way. NASDAQ's kind of falling behind the S&P 500, but 500 is looking nice and bullish. So the only thing that could stop us now is the data coming out tomorrow morning, CPI and jobless claims. So if the data is wrong, market could reback and retrace back a little bit and pull back a little bit. If the numbers are good before the opening, tomorrow, it'll just be a continuation of the rally, which, is surprising. I thought for sure we'd come back and check in a little bit. And, it's still possible. It's possible we could even do it, this week, sometime tomorrow or Friday. But other than that, I mean, things are looking really, really good. So let's get into it. You can see the heat map just nice and green. Amazon didn't, carry through with us, and a couple others didn't. But overall, the market just really rocketed. Even Facebook, I was surprised actually starting to get some momentum here. I traded it late in the day and then got out because just figured didn't have enough time. But boy, some people trade this and really killed it today. Also, the nice thing too is we had a small cap in. This was from yesterday, DCFC. I talked about this in the video. It was also on the front screen, but this gives a rally. I actually caught this in pre-market. I should just stayed with it through the late morning. I didn't catch all the trade on this one, but let me show you the chart on this one. I wish I would have just left it in through the pre-market and into the session, but we'll see if this gives us any more tomorrow. Here's DCFC from yesterday. And you see here, we kept our trend line, and but boy, I got into it here in pre-market around just around $11, and look at the top was 1970. If anybody rode this all the way up, congratulations! Just you almost doubled your money on one trade. Just amazing. And this thing came back. It did retrace back. It's on the 50. So I don't like the retrace back. Let's try and close these gaps. There's some gaps down here. So does this do it? Does it bounce tomorrow and give us another day? It hit the radar yesterday. So 1189 was a high on the open, and then pulled back, and then it gave you a little bit back to 1116, and then back down to almost around $9, and then another ride today. So I'm going to see if it gives anything tomorrow, but boy, hopefully some of you caught this. Just a really good trade. Look at earnings today. So Uber, TWLO, and actually Disney was the other one on here. And after hours, TWLO killed it. It went much further than I thought it was going to go, $60 plus. Just wow, just a killer. But we had quite a bit of pullback on TWLO too. But you'd see here's our trend line here, which is this last breakout period or fall, where it started coming down. So we had a pivot right here. It's kind of sitting right above that pivot. But if you look at the high, it actually came up kind of in the middle of this area here, which, this is a lot of consolidation, which obviously created some resistance for it, probably more than just this pivot point here. So I did find resistance here. It did pull back in after hours, 244. Looking for this for tomorrow to see what it's going to do. I don't know if it's going to pull back maybe down to the 50 and maybe get a rally up, or if it's going to rally off. So I'll be watching this pre-market just to see where it's going. It just, almost hit the 200, just shy of the 200. So, do we try to rally back up towards that 200 again? It's possible. A lot of it will depend too on the numbers that come out from the Feds tomorrow on inflation. So we'll see. But definitely watching TWLO in the morning. Disney, a nice little run up here. It's below the 50 still, but it's closed above the 20, which is good. That's very positive. some more bullish. So we'll see, Disney is in this downward channel, so just keep that in mind. But if we can continue and get a breakout here, maybe we can close this gap up here and start to rally back up here. So Disney, not too bad. Didn't kill like TWLO, but not too bad. Dox kind of is giving a run up here. Got this little gap to fill up here. I have several gaps, above us. So Dox has its work cut out for it. But Dox gave a nice rally today. So if you got some of that, that's great. Chipotle, this was another earnings one that we talked about the other day. Nice run up, and we had another day of run on this. It's really kind of matched. I didn't mark on this here. I'll go ahead and mark it for you. But you have this little wick here. This is where it topped out on Friday, or actually yesterday, and then on Tuesday, and came back just a little bit. Well, we filled that in that space here. So do we get towards the 200? That would be the next goal. So let's see if CMG can get back above or at that 200 level. So this is a huge run though. I expected more retracement, but showing nice and strong as long as the bulls stay in. We'll probably see these rally up here. Nvidia broke out. So we were in this downward slope and we broke out and actually got above the 50. So we're above all the moving averages on Nvidia. That's great. That means, the goal is to try to rally back up here towards highs. So we'll see if we can hold this tomorrow and rally up to next level. If you look at the fibs, 275 would be the next level. After that, 285, then 295, about every $10 increments for Nvidia. If we have some bad news, then obviously we can retrace back either to the 50, the 100, or even down to the 20. So just be careful. Definitely watch pre-market. Definitely have the Fed information with you before you jump into trades. LRCX trying to pull back up here. Got a nice little W here, and we're just closed barely above the 200. This one could be a good trade. I mean, we've got a huge pullback, and we got a W. And so as long as this doesn't, impose too much resistance, we should start to rally from here. So LRCX, another one for the morning. All right, next on the list, Google. So Google had this big, huge run up after earnings to the top of our Fibonacci, which is kind of what we were, kind of the last top we had here, and then pulled back down to the 20 and the 10, and now it's rallied back up. So, we're above all the moving averages, so Google should be able to run from here. Also, remember, don't forget that 20-to-1 split on the stock is happening in July. So definitely could see a rally here, but just be careful with this one. Stock splits can do weird things, and so can post earnings announcements. Apple's running up here. It broke through our resistance. Actually, it's gapped above our resistance, so it rallied up here over resistance. It held today, which is bullish. So now the next goal is to get to 179.51 and see if we can pull back. If we pull back for some reason back in, we have this consolidation that we've had here. We talked about this in our videos. But right now, this is a new channel. There's consolidations happened here twice before, so it could easily happen there as well. So don't expect a huge rally from Apple, but it's possible. Boeing continues just to kind of grind its way up. It closed at the 200. So that's great. If we get above that and hold, we should be able to rally back up here towards our trend line here up at 227. If not, then obviously we can pull back to the 100 or the 50. Netflix trying to get going here, get a little momentum. It's pretty much flat down here. Stays down here too long, you're gonna create a little bear-looking flag, and we have a gap down here too. So we'll see what happens with Netflix, but right now, just kind of in a resting spot. Facebook. So Facebook kind of surprised me today. 216 was a low from yesterday. And you can see here, we just started to rally back up here a little bit. Now, there's resistance here, this 233 mark. So just keep that in mind. We could pull back here again. It could make a little S shape here. If we break above here, I mean, the 50 is right underneath. So if we can break above the 50 and hold that and close above it, maybe Facebook can start to recover a little bit. RK still below the 200, but got now 3 bars kind of in a row here. So making momentum, but still below this breakdown candle. So we got to get above the breakdown candle, above the 200 to keep RK moving forward. Tesla running flat, sitting right underneath our resistance level. So at 912. So we got to get, probably above 940, 950 to get a rally back to 1,000. Amazon, you can see Amazon got pretty close, almost to the top again here, just below the 200, and then backed off here. So it was pretty much flat today. So sitting between the 200 and the 100. So we'll have to see it break one of those levels to know what direction it's going to go. Exxon, still a little pullback here, still above most of the moving averages. Energy just kind of took a break because the money started moving back into the other sectors. So the 10-year yield is kind of flat. It pulled back a little bit, so that's good. This is good. This will help us with the market. It'll be interesting to see what happens after tomorrow's meeting on the CPI numbers and jobless claims. U.S. oil continues to pull back, and talked about this, in our videos that there would be a pullback, and there has been. And so we have 4 days of pullback here, but we're still staying high above most of the moving averages. So that's positive to allow oil to continue to go up at some point. The US dollar still riding underneath our trend line. The VIX pulled back under the 20 just towards the close. That's what helped us rally today at the end and break our resistance levels. So if you look at the SPY here, we're now above the 50. We closed above the 50 today, which is very bullish. That's very positive. We still have to, get, to other levels here, but we're above the moving averages now. That means we could rally as long as nothing, as far as news or anything, stops us. So next goal is to try to get back here into our trend. And this is the old trend lines here. So that's the goal. So the next area of resistance, by this 465 level, if we can hold tomorrow. Triple Qs still working its way through these moving averages. We did close between the 20 and the 50. So positive momentum on the Qs. Semiconductors just closed above the 50. So we got a long rally up here from here, but we're above all the moving averages, and we are in the trend line. So obviously we can start to rally up and possibly fill these gaps. Dow Jones looking good. It continues to lead, and it's heading right up here, and it just closed right within the prior trend line. So we're actually, able to hopefully just rally up from here if it can hold. Really, you need to get above this 360 level, and I feel a lot better. So we'll see what it brings up. But Dow Jones is leading the way. IWM pulled up here, moved up. So it's got resistance in here around 207, 208. But looking good as well. Financials, so XLF, so continues to rally up here, close kind of like a doji. Hopefully this is not a topping doji here, and pull back as possible, but just got to keep an eye on it. Energy sector, still just sitting up here at the top. Healthcare is trying to rally up here right off of our trend line here. So it's at resistance. So we just got to break through this 135 level to keep the rally going. The technology sector, XLK, we're sitting right at resistance here at our resistance line here. So if we can break this 164 level, should be able to hopefully rally back up here to at least 166. Bitcoin's continuing trying to rally up here. It's just right at a resistance level for 2 days now. So it's got to break above this level if we want to try to rally back up above these moving averages. Leo pulled back here after hitting the new high. So that's normal. So it's getting this retracement in. Hopefully we can find support here at our support level that we have drawn here already, which is interesting to hit that. And hopefully we can bounce off of here. Ethereum continue to climb slowly up towards the moving averages. As soon as it gets past these, it'll be in a bullish momentum, and we can continue to hopefully see Ethereum try to rally back up towards the highs and these trend lines. So I'm really pleased with cryptos, really pleased with the stock market and this rally. I'm hoping there's not a pullback after tomorrow's meeting. Hopefully the news is either good or moot. And so we can continue to move forward, and hopefully the VIX will, continue to come down into those 20s and below. So anyway, be careful out there trading. We've had a great run here the last few days. Just always be prepared for a possible pullback. Today on some of the stocks, I was using stop losses. Most of the time they're manual for me, but I was using some of them, and they came in handy with some of these large $12 candles that I was seeing today. So just be careful out there, trade smart, and we'll talk tomorrow night, see how your trades went and what to look for the next day. Everybody have a great night.